Good morning, everybody out there in Mathland. Today for third grade, we will be reviewing measuring mass. This was the last lesson we did before the break. It is very simple, and I'm going to remind you of how that worked, okay? Right here. If you remember, we used mass in gram scales in science as well, and that's what we're using to do this. This is a balance scale. In order to know how much that tub of clay is, the mass of that object, I'm going to have to add up all the gram scales that are on this side, because right now it's level, which means this side is equal to that side. So I'm going to start by adding up all of these. I'm going to start with the biggest one. So I have 100 grams, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 151. So that means that that tub of clay is 151 grams. That jar, it looked like a jar of honey, but it's actually a candle. So we need to know how much it is. It is level right here, which means that this side is equal to this side. So it's 1 kilogram, 200 grams, 205 grams. So 1 kilogram and 205 grams. If you guys remember, in order to do this, all we had to do was add up all the ones that we saw. So that's 4 kilograms, 300 grams, 320, 325, 326, 327. So all you're doing is adding up all of these gram scales together. Then on the next page, remember that sometimes you're going to have kilograms combined with grams. So you want to count the kilograms separate from the grams. So right here, these are 3 kilograms, and then you add up all these to get 702 grams. Over here, it says your friend says the stuffed animal has a mass that is less than 25 grams. Is your friend correct? No, they're not correct, because right here, that stuffed animal is lower, which means it has more mass than this side. So it's actually the opposite. The tiger, the stuffed tiger, which is funny, Talbot tigers, right, is more than 25 grams. If they were level, then they would be equal. So that would actually be the correct one, but it's not. Over here it says choose the best tool to measure each item. For liquid volume, we should use our graduated cylinder right here. And remember, graduated doesn't mean that it passed kindergarten or 5th grade. It means that it has measurements on the side. That's graduated. The length of a spoon. Length we do with a ruler. The mass we're going to do with a balance scale, and the number of minutes we're going to do that with a clock. We keep reviewing. So over here, it said third graders should eat 454 grams of vegetables each day. You eat the vegetables shown on the balance. How many more grams of vegetables should you eat today? Because that right there is balanced. It means that you need to figure out how many of those grams are in these carrots right here. So that's 200, 220, 226, 228. No, wait, hold on. 200, 220, 210, 220, 225, 226. So then 226, you have to subtract it from 458. So that means 454. So you need 228 more grams of vegetables to get your whole serving of vegetables for a day. I wonder how many of you are doing that. A tablet's mass is 324 grams more than the cell phone's mass. What is the mass of the tablet? So first you got to add up all of these. So it's 100, 110, 120, 125, 102, 27, 28, 29, 129. And then to that 129, you have to add, wait, hold on, 129, let's see. 120, 125, yep. So what is the mass of the tablet? So then you have to subtract those two numbers in order to get it. I'm sorry, add those two numbers, because a tablet's mass is 324 grams more than the cell phone's mass. So we have to add those two numbers, and that's how you get 453. Over here, the mass of a nickel is 5 grams. There are 40 nickels in a standard roll. What is the mass of a standard roll nickel? So multiplying those two numbers will give you 200 grams. Newton eats 6 kilograms of dog food each week. He buys 24 kilograms bags of dog food. For how many weeks will Newton eat from the bag of dog food? So we have to divide 24 divided by 6 in order to get 4 weeks. You make fruit smoothies using 369 grams of strawberries, 227 grams of raspberries, and 283 grams of blueberries. Do you use more than 1 kilogram of fruit? Remember, 1 kilogram has 1,000 grams. So if you add up 369, 227, 283, you have to see if it's less or more than 1 kilogram or 1,000 grams. So no, because your total is 879 grams, which is less than 1,000. So it doesn't reach that kilogram. So then you're going to go, now that we've gone through a review of the lesson, because we did this together in the classroom before we left, you're going to go to Edutone, you're going to go to your Big Ideas math book, you're going to find the homework, and you're going to submit the homework online. My third graders did great with that yesterday, so I want to make sure you do it again. All right? See ya.